Hello and welcome to this video. Today we're going to be looking at comboing in Tetris. So if you're playing in battle mode or some other competitive versions, you'll be looking to send lots of lines to your opponents, and when you're starting out, comboing is a very simple way of sending a decent number of lines. So there are different types of combos. Let's start off with the simple one. So the simplest of the combos is the 2 wide combo, and it looks like this. You'll start off firstly building up your pieces, something like this. You'll do that on one side of the screen. Here I'm just doing it on this side, and hopefully I don't screw up this I've stacked too much. And yeah, oh dear. Let's just try that again. That was a little bit embarrassing. Okay. It's been a long time since I've done any 2 widing before. Wow, I can't seem to do this. And when you're up stacking like this, you want to try and keep it fairly flat. This time it's going much more smoothly. Alright, and then once you've stacked up a decent amount, then you can start comboing. So that's just using the 2 columns that you've left to send lots of lines to your opponent. And it looks kind of like that. And then once you're done, you can just build up again. If you're playing competitively, you might need to clear out some lines that have been sent to you. And then the idea is you just, once you've built up again, you just start comboing again. And by doing this, what you're doing is the game gives you a bonus for sending, for clearing a line and then clearing another line straight afterwards. In this case, since you're clearing 2 lines, the first 2 lines you clear will send, I think it's 1 line, and then the second one will send, I think it's 2 or 3, but it increases, and after a while you'll just be sending a consistent number of lines, consistently high number of lines with each of the pieces you send down. So that was 2 widing. That's because the column I left was 2 wide. You can also do a similar thing with 3 wide. So let's have a look at that. I'll do it on the other side this time, just for a bit of variety. The nice thing is that when you do wider combos, you have to stack up fewer blocks. So with 2 widing you have to stack up extra blocks, with 3 widing you don't have to stack up as many blocks. So then you just plop down your pieces and you get a combo. Hopefully quite a large combo. We'll see how big a combo I can get here. So we got an 11 combo there, so that's pretty good. And that will send a decent number of lines to your opponent. Okay, so that's 3 widing. These are fairly easy to practice. You just have to have a good up stack. You just have to make sure that you don't do anything too bad to begin with. I think the errors I was making earlier when I was stacking up was that I was not keeping it that level, so leaving too many gaps. You want to keep it as flat as possible when you're stacking up, which makes it quite easy for you. And then when you're online, you can start down stacking when either you feel like it could be dangerous for you. So if you see your opponent starting to send lines, or you might start down stacking, noticing that your opponent doesn't have any way of defending, and you might try and go for a KO. You can also turn this into Tetrises by using pairs of eyepieces. Tetrises are slightly more efficient since each Tetris sends 4 lines, and if you combo it, so if the last thing you sent was a Tetris and you send another Tetris, you get 6 lines sent. but the game kind of remembers what you did last in terms of Tetrises, so it'll remember whether or not you sent a Tetris last time, and if you did send a Tetris last time, then it will just give you that back-to-back bonus. Okay, so the final type of combo, so we've done 2 widing, we've done 3 widing, the final type of combo is 4 widing, and there's a difficulty with this. So I'll show you the difficulty if I just set up a 4 wide gap here. Let's try and do this now. Have I left an okay gap? Yeah, this looks fine. Okay, and so the problem you'll notice is I could put this eyepiece down and that will clear me a line, but there aren't any other pieces I can put down that will clear a whole line in one go. If I had all eyepieces, this would be fine, but since I don't have all eyepieces, it becomes a little bit of a problem. So you might start trying to do this by putting down a few pieces. Ooh, maybe not like that. You might try and put down a few pieces and go, I can kind of combo like this, and this is not easy to do, but there's a more consistent way of doing it, and I'll show you that right now. So the way you should set up your 4 widing is to put 3 blocks at the bottom. So I'm going to be 4 widing on the right hand 4 columns, and I just build it up like this. So I put my eyepiece across, sticking 3 blocks out. Doing some quite questionable upstacking there. Yes, very questionable. Okay, so once you've done that, I had to get rid of a piece while I was stacking up, but sometimes you have to do that. Now you can combo quite easily, and this takes a lot of practice to keep the combo going, and that's the only way you're going to be sending a lot of lines in this mode. So here I notice I can't keep the combo going because of the pieces that are coming up, and you're going to have to look ahead when you're doing this kind of combo. So let me just stack it up a little bit more and let's see if I'm more successful this time. Okay, I'll just do a little bit and maybe you might get an idea of the kind of things that you have to do in order to keep the combo going. It requires a lot of looking ahead, as I say, and that's just coming down to practice. The best thing about 4 widing is it's very quick to stack up your blocks. Stacking up a 4 wide column doesn't take much time at all. Alright, so let me just dump this one here and let's go. So that's kind of how it looks. And often you'll have to soft drop pieces into place, and that can be slightly inefficient but often necessary. So yes, the some other initial setups you can do. You can start off with an L or a J piece, as long as you stick it 2 blocks in, and then you can start stacking up. Let's try and keep it nice and wow, I can't see. What is this? Let's try that again. I'll do it on the other side this time. Oh dear. What's going on? You can but you might get the idea with those L and J pieces. You just stick those 2 blocks in to begin with. You can also start with the T piece like this, and you just build up. This gives you 3 blocks to start off with. You can also start off with an S or a Z piece like this. I don't really personally like this approach too much. because often when you're stacking up or when you're starting to do your combo, you want to have you want to be fast, and a lot of the times I feel like with these kind of slight overhangs at the bottom, you want to really begin with a T-spin or something. It gets you going quite well. What to do here? Maybe I might start off like this. Okay, and this is a real big trouble that I've got myself into here. If you're forwarding and you end up with an island in the middle like this, then it's pretty much over. There's no piece you can put down that will save yourself in this position. So you have to waste a move, and once you've wasted a move, your combo is over. No more back-to-back line clearing bonuses for you. But that's something you gotta practice not doing. If you're playing on this version of Tetris that I have here, this null pomino, then there's a nice tool you can use if you want to just practice your forwarding. Let's see if I can find it now. Is it under here? No, we'll find it. Race. Yeah, the combo race. So combo race, you can set how many lines you want to do, and what it'll do is it'll start you off in the position with 4 lines at the bottom, and you can just go through and try and clear the whole thing. It's good practice, and it will also tell you what your combo is as well at the bottom of the screen. Oh dear. And apart from that, it's just keeping track of how many lines you clear, so it'll stop after 40 lines. And I'm a little bit stuck there. And this is not so optimal. Yeah, I think I'm missing a couple of tricks we can do here that would really help, but that comes with practice, and there are some good videos of people forwarding. There's also a forwarding robot or AI you can use in here, and it will show you what kind of tricks you can be doing to forward successfully. There are some ideas where you can spin. You can do a Z spin or an S spin into certain spaces to clear your lines. But yes, forwarding also has the added bonus of being one of the most efficient ways to combo. So if you're the points work as follows. For your first line that you clear, you don't send any garbage. For the second line that you clear, you send 1, and I believe for the third it's 1, and then it goes 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, and 4s. So you can be sending 4 lines with each of your pieces, which is very efficient. There's to send 4 lines with 1 piece and continuously do that, it's going to send a lot of garbage to your opponent very quickly, and it can be very overwhelming. And this is how I used to play a lot online. I would just quickly stack up, send a whole bunch, and pretty much knock out my opponent before they could do anything. This is what I do a lot of the time to begin with. It was very effective. There's a problem with it though, is that if you notice that somebody is doing this forwarding tactic against you, then what you can do is you can wait until they've stacked up. So if they're stacking up like this, what you have to do is you have to notice that they're forwarding. You can also do these little tricks to help yourself stack up if you misdo the parity. And at around this point, if they've let it get to this point, if you're fighting against the forwarding, you just send a couple of Tetrises, and the right hand side of the screen will mean that they top out and you scored that KO very quickly. There is a way around it, and there's a technique called central forwarding, where you do the forwarding, but you do it you leave the gap in the center of your screen. I'm not exactly sure of the setups for this, so I'm not going to show it off here. I might work it out and display it in a later video, but it has been used to some effect online. But as I say, I don't know exactly how it works, how exactly you're meant to set up your pieces. So that is comboing. You can't do 5-widing. You can't do that because each piece contains only 4 blocks. So if you started to 5-wide, you'd eventually, run out of pieces to use in your 5-wide. If that makes sense at all. But yes, no, that is comboing, and it's a good way to start playing online, getting quick KOs. So hopefully that helps, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.